I hope my audio is clear and my screen is visible. So the session I'm taking today is for a very specific reason that now we have the finish line in sight. You know when is the NEET SS. So now it is very important that if you are starting now, or if you have started preparing from now, you should buckle up and you should sit and gain that momentum, because now you have to reach the finish line. And those who are preparing from the last few months, now is the time to not lose the momentum, and again, same, gain that extra momentum and reach the finish line. Do not give up in between. So what I would like to discuss today is this outline wherein we obviously know the dates, that is, it is in March 29th to 30. Okay. There may not be, or I don't suppose there will be any changes now, even if they are given tentative, but I don't think there will be any changes. It will be on 29 to 30 March 2025. So if you tell or ask me, today is 15th of September, and ideally your preparation time is from 15th September to 15th March. Okay, because I personally feel, and I also advise to all my students, that the last 2 weeks, that is 14 days before the exam, should be just concentrating on the revision and just going through what you have read, because in that time you don't have any time to read anything new. So if you consider the last 14 days, out of this, you'll have exactly 5 months starting today. So I'll be giving you my tips and what I would be recommending to be read in this 5 months. How about you should go and read in this 5 months? I'll be talking about MCQ solving, how to do it, what to do it, and how much to do it. I'll be very specifically talking about the importance of mock exams in this few months before the exams. And lastly, how we have planned to help you in the next few months. So whoever are joining right now or whoever is joined, I'll just let you know that you can mention your doubts in the chat box simultaneously, so that if there is something which I want to tell in between, I'll be taking that up. So don't be shy and just try and mention your doubts and queries in the chat box. So now, first thing, that is what you have to read. The what of reading. So I have talked about it many times regarding what you have to read, that is daily, Sabiston, the importance of both, and also the added content of shorts. Now, moving away from the textbook specific, I'll be talking about the topic specific. So one thing I'll again reiterate, that daily is very important. Don't miss out on that. If you have read, revise. If you are starting now, make sure that you go through Bailey first. Then next, you should take up Sabiston and you should do the selective reading of Sabiston. And those who have read Bailey Sabiston, revise that and add on the shorts content from our lectures and the notes for the shorts. So now if I talk about very specific topic wise, I'll be combining them like I have combined in my modules in the app. That is, if it be very specific, if you start with the basic principles and neurosurgery, I feel you should do it now. Okay, this is the time to read. That is, you should give priority 1 to this. I'll be giving priority 1, 2, and 3 for all the topics, so that you understand when you need to do it and what can be done later on. Next, you need to concentrate on endocrine in general and also the vascular surgery. Okay, this is also priority 1. Now, why I'm telling you that this is priority 1 and how will I differentiate between the topics, that is priority 1, 2, and 3, is that the priority 1 are the topics which I'm not telling that the priority according to the importance of the topic, according to which it is asked, but according to the importance about how we read them, because We tend to concentrate more on GIT, GUT part if we talk about the specialty, if we are preparing for our theory exams or in general, because we are dealing with that in the clinical practice and we have a tendency to move towards that. But I wanted to move away from that to concentrate on the subject which you may neglect. So that is the reason why I'm combining this, and it is better if you read them together. So endocrine and vascular surgery, basic principles and neurosurgery, and if we talk about the other specialty, that is pediatric, plastic. Okay. So this is also according to me in priority 1. So these 6 topics are something which according to me should be done in the first 30 days. Okay. So now if we talk about the timeline, so if we talk about the first month, that is from 15th September to 15th October. Okay. Second month would be similarly from October to November and going onwards. So I'll talk about the first 3 months because I want you to concentrate and give your full efforts, more than 200% in this next 3 months, because I would recommend that after December onwards, that is in Jan, Feb and March, you have to keep those months for 2 months minimum for revision if you can complete and prepare nicely in the next 3 months. If not, then minimum of 1.5 months you should keep for revision. Now, why I'm not giving topic specific or a subject specific timeline, because everybody has their own reading method and speed. So I don't want you to be under a pressure by my advice that if I tell you that concentrate this many hours on breast, that is not something right, which I personally do not agree with, because some may be reading one chapter in half a day, some may take 2 days. So it is a very personal. This is that your speed is what you need to decide, and you need to make your schedule accordingly. So I'm giving a very general schedule for you to follow so that you can put your pieces in that and make and complete the puzzle so that you can complete that. So for me, the first 90 days should be to read the topics, starting with your initial focus should be to complete priority 1 topics. Okay. Now coming to the other topics, that is what according to me it is priority 2. Now remember that priority 1, 2, 3 doesn't mean that you need to give more time to 1, less time to 2, or less time to 3. Priority according to me is that the first priority should be done first, second should be done after that, and third should be done at a later stage, because those topics as I'll come ahead. So now if you talk about priority 1, I already told you that you need to talk about the basic, neuro, pedia, plastic and vascular. Okay. So majority of the main topics are to be covered. And if you see overall and endocrine, so if you see in overall, the chapters may be small because they will be having limited pages, but if you complete them, you'll feel confident that you know that, because GIT GUT is something which I will keep in priority 3. Okay. Why? Because we have read it many times. So that is one most important thing which I feel is that you should concentrate in such way, because what we tend to do is that we feel that, okay, the basic principles, GIT, GUT are where, and trauma are the topics from where majority of the questions are concentrated from. So we tend to give more attention to them. And when we come to the specialty, we are already fatigued. We are already very near to the exam. We are in that pressure. Now, this I'm talking from a perspective if you're starting now. If you have been reading from last few months, you can concentrate and do your revision in such priority list, or you can just give equal time to each. But if we talk, so go by priority 1, complete that topics, then move on to the priority 2 topics. Now, what does that include? So it will be the peri-op chapters, the head and neck, the onco, the transplantation, okay, the cardiac, the thoracic part. So what will happen is that you have completed the major specialty subjects. Now what is remaining? The minor topics and GIT GUT, which no matter whoever you pick up from all of your colleagues will say that yes, I'm more confident with GIT GUT. So that is why you will be in a better state of the mind. So after you've done the priority 2, that is completed certain topics, then you can move on to the GIT GUT. So majority of your subject has been read, you are in a better state of mind, you have come to a topic which you like or you have read, so you know majority of the things, even if you are reading first time or second time if you're doing a revision. So this is what I would advise you, that in the first 90 days, try to read in such a way, or the next 90 days, try to read in the following priority list if it is suiting you, so that you can cover the specialty, move on to the midway topics, and then move on to the GIT GUT. And then keep the months from December to March as the period for revision. Now, why I am telling you that keep more time for revision? Because no matter whoever is reading from 6 months to starting now, you will overshoot this timeline which I'm providing. So even if you complete once the complete reading by even December, and you can do your revision in the January to Feb to March, that is 2.5 months. That is very adequate time for revision. Don't think that it is not adequate time, because already you had a lot of time and you are also having 5 months of time starting today. And that is more than enough to prepare for NEET SS and give your best shot. So I hope this is clear. So as I say, for all the things, I also divide it into rule of 3. So you can divide the 90 days into 1 period. You can divide the priority list topics into 3 parts. And as I've said earlier as well, that your schedule should be to make schedule for a month, then divide it and make schedule for every week, divide it and make for every day, and also divide it and make it into 3 slots of whatever time you're getting to read, and make your schedule according to this, and read by choosing the topic according to this priority list or according to your comfort level. Now, I said regarding the textbooks, I've covered it many times in the earlier session regarding what is to be read and what is important from Bailey. Complete is important, Sabiston, selective reading, shorts. If you have time, then you can just go through our content, that is the videos and the notes. Now, we have covered about what and the priority list according to me. Now, how to read is a very important thing, because many of you have raised this query in the last few days, that you are concentrating more on theory, less of questions. Now, should you increase the number of questions, decrease reading? No. I'll advise you that if we talk about 5 months, that is 150 days, I'll keep nearly 120 days, wherein you should divide. And in the first 90 days, which I told earlier, your reading and MCQ solving should go nearly 50-50. Okay. Now is not the time to concentrate more on theory. Now is the time to concentrate equally on your MCQ solving and your theory reading, and give 50% of your time to solve the MCQs. And I would recommend to at least do 100 to 150 questions per day. Okay, this is a minimum which I am recommending since last few months, and also today I'll recommend that solve MCQs in our MCQ bank. You can solve in the practice mode, or you can solve in the test mode, and I would recommend to do in the test mode. That is around 2.5 hours. So what students are asking me, that sir, if we solve in test mode, you sit for 2.5 hours, and then when you go and read through the solutions, you are again taking 2.5 hours. So if you have less time, you think that you're wasting your time, then I would recommend another thing. What you can do is that dedicate your 50% time to reading. Okay, don't change that. But as I've already said earlier, that when you're solving the MCQs, solve the MCQs which you have done maybe 1 week or 10 days back. Don't solve immediately the topic which you have read the same day. You'll obviously answer more questions, but you will not have any retention. So for increasing the retention, keep a gap of nearly 7 to 10 days, or I would say 5 days is also minimum. Keep a gap and then solve. And next, what you can do is just solve the questions and divide and give yourself fixed time, that 2.5 hours of MCQ solving, if you're doing in test mode, and remaining some time, I'll go to the solutions. Even if you're not going through 150, it is okay. Even if you're able to book 250 questions, that is enough. Because what you have done is you have done two things. You're not just solved the MCQs, you have given an exam, you are training your mind daily to solve the MCQs by sitting and solving it. And as we are also launching our both Windows and Mac OS app is already live, the Windows app will also be live. So try to practice that on the laptop so that you have the habit of sitting in the front of the screen, make yourself in that environment and solve those MCQs. So you are training your mind to daily solve the MCQs by sitting in that scenario. So devote your time to 50-50, and accordingly the MCQs more often in the test mode. If you want to do in a practice mode, then you also have the option to create a custom module of, if you say, let's say if you want to solve around 150 questions in 1 week or 6 days, that is around 900 questions, make the module of the topic which you want to solve and just solve 150 questions per day, and next day just continue from that. You will be able to save the response. So you can use a practice mode well in that also. So regarding MCQs in the first 90 days, that is, again, this will match the schedule which I have given you earlier, that is nearing December. Then as you are going towards the revision, I'll tell you to slightly increase the MCQ solving by 10%, that is around 60. And why reduce the time? Because for reading, because I want you to do more revision. So it will take less time. It should be rapid revision. It should not be reading what you did earlier. That is why then in the next, you should do 40%. So that is how you need to mix and match and accordingly prepare. So your schedule, divide the topic, select the textbooks. Now again, I'll emphasize that if you have not started, start with Bailey, then move on to Sabiston. If you have read, start with revision of Bailey Sabiston. You can use our notes and videos, or you can just concentrate on your notes and add on the shorts content from ours. Now, we have talked about the MCQ solving. I've talked about how to divide the day. I've talked about where you should concentrate on. And I am telling you since the last 6 months that don't solve the MCQs of the same topic on the same day which you have reading. That is not going to help you. Do a delayed MCQ solving so that you have more retention. Because in my experience, what I've seen is the maximum mistakes what you do is more often due to confusion between two options, or you get confused or you change the answer because of unsure about the options or questions, and that is only going to be solved by revision and revision. Okay, so that is the reason why emphasis on this, giving a gap and solving the questions, it helps you retain more. Because, for example, if you have solved our MCQs in the test mode, you have solved 150 today, you are going through the solutions tomorrow, and the topic you have read 1 week back, you will be understanding that, oh, I read 1 week back, but I don't remember. So you are revising at that time. Then after 1 week, if you read that topic, you are revising it third time. So even if you're not knowing subconsciously, you are doing mini revisions in between by doing and following this technique. If you read today, solve the MCQs today, and then solve after 10 days, you'll have one revision. If you read a topic last week, you solve the MCQs today, you read the solutions over the period of next week, you're doing many revisions in a span of 10 days, and that is going to help you more. So choosing the topic is important. You need to cover, and the important thing is that you need to stay in that mindset of being confident about your preparation. Majority of the time we lack confidence, and there is where we lose the momentum. So divide your schedule, choose the topics, solve the MCQs in such a way, and then move on towards the most important portion, that is of the mock exams. Now, many times students are asking that I want to take multiple mock exam series from multiple places, and I am not against that. The more practice you have, it is better. So we are going to give you 15 exams, and we are going to give you a very detailed analysis about your ranking according to the NEET SS 22, 23, 24. We are developing a model taking in, and we have trained the AI model fitting the last year and the previous merit list. So you'll get a overall idea about the ranking. We'll give you the trend over the 15 exams, that what are you missing on, where you're lacking. Is it the changing of answers is what is affecting, or your time is affecting? So we are giving you a very detailed analysis. So that is going to help you. And the 15 exams we are going to start next month, and it will be conducted every 2 to 3 exams in a month. And we'll just keep 1 or maximum 2 exams in March. We don't want to burden you with a lot of exams in March, so that you have more time to revision. So you need to solve as many exams as possible. Even if you take 3 subscriptions from different platforms and you solve 50 mock exams, it is not bad. But the important thing is that if you take any mock exam series from anywhere, make sure that you don't just randomly solve the mock exam, that okay, tomorrow is this, for example, it's our mock exam. You are on the morning of the exam, you know that okay, today is their mock exam. Don't solve like that. Integrate that schedule of the different mock exams into your reading schedule, and then solve the mock exams. And I would say that never let the mock exam result affect you in the negative way. I have said it to all my last year decathlon mock exam users that if our exams are tougher, you are not scoring well, advise you to concentrate on your weaknesses, that where are you lacking, why are you making the mistakes, why are you not able to recollect, and work on that, rather than thinking that even after reading 6 months, 2 months, 3 months, I'm not able to answer the questions. That is not the right way. Mock exams are given for you to practice, and make sure that now, as our mock exams, you can take it on the desktop app, solve it on desktop only. Don't do it in mobile or tab, because many of time I have seen that you have the calls coming in, WhatsApp coming in, and you are solving with that. That is not the right way to do it. Solve the mock exams, be it our 15 or be it any other 15, 30. Even if you want to solve many exams, even if you want to solve daily, it is okay. But it should not affect your theory reading, and it should not affect your overall reading speed. So understand that how many exams you can give, and give it accordingly. Important thing is to not be backed down by, even if you score less in few exams, or even not be overconfident if you get more marks in one exam, because you tend to get overconfident when you get more marks. And it is good to be positive, but it is not good to be overconfident. So concentrate on that. Concentrate on solving the exam seriously. Next, immediately after solving, if you think that you are mentally exhausted, just read. Don't go through the solutions immediately. Go through next day. Divide it over a period of the days coming up to the next exam. So you can revise 30, 20 questions daily. Concentrate on that. Just keep a track of what your performance is. Is the marks increasing, or is it saying plateau, or it is decreasing? If it is increasing, it's the best sign. If it is saying plateau, then don't worry, maybe you will score more in the main exam. But if it is going a downward trend, that is where you need to jump in and rectify it immediately. So mock exams are the most important part during this next few months. So don't think that by giving mock exams, you're wasting time. If you give mock exams seriously, you don't get backed down by the results. And if you take the analysis intelligently, that is where mock exams will be a game changer for your preparation. That is what even the last decathlon users have told. So don't even think that if the paper is tough, be it ours or anybody else's, you are not knowing. Maybe that is a sign that the extra questions, you are having time to revise it and add it to your knowledge. So that is about the mock exams. So we have talked about what you need to read, how you need to divide the priority list of topics, how you are supposed to divide the schedule, and how you're supposed to read, how much time you need to keep for revision, what is the importance of MCQ solving, how you are supposed to solve the MCQs and the mock exams. And finally, how can we, or how will we be helping you? So we have, today is the first step of how I want to help you to be prepared for the exam in a very, very intelligent way. You need to do smart reading. You don't need to mug up everything. You need to be very smart in what you read. And you can use our MCQ Bank. solve it either in test mode or practice mode, as I said earlier. You can use our notes for rapid revision if you've already read Bailey's Saveston. You can use our videos, specifically the Bailey short videos, to just rapidly revise them, or the shorts content if you want to add on extra edge, because it will be a 10-15% extra push to the knowledge. And lastly, the mock exams. So over and above what we did last year, we are going to give you a very detailed analysis of your performance, starting with the ranking compared to the last 2 years and predictive ranking of this year, because maybe not all the students will be giving our mock exam, will be giving a predictive ranking. We'll be giving a very detailed analysis of your trend, where you are going up, down. We'll be giving that analysis. We'll giving you where you are changing the answers if you're making any mistakes, and we'll be giving you topic-wise strengths and weaknesses so that you can concentrate on that. So that is where we will pitch in, and always will be available to solve your queries in between whenever you want. So this is something which I wanted to add on and tell you to start the preparation journey. Now, if anybody of you has any queries, please be free to write in the chat box so I can address them. And I hope this session helps you to gain the momentum you needed to start or to continue. Now, if you have any queries, please let me know. So as I said, so if you are planning or preparing for your theory and NEET as well, I will recommend you that, as I said, that 50-50, I'll recommend you to do 60-40 till your 1 month before your theory exams for MCQ solving and theory reading. And you should solve the MCQs now. Don't keep it for the last month before the exam. When you're reading now, think that you have to give both exams, and MCQ solving is also going to help you, and theory reading will be also equally important. So use our MCQ bank, use our notes for theory, use the MCQ bank for the NEET SS, and give your same 60-40 for nearly 1.5 months before the theory exams. Last 1 month before the theory, just read theory, and immediately after theory, don't take break. Switch over for NEET SS preparation. That is how you should prepare for both theory exams and NEET SS simultaneously, because the course is same for both. Bailey Saveston is equally important for both theory and NEET SS. So I think you should do it this way. 60%, slightly more for theory now, as that is something which you are be reading first time. 50-50 is for somebody who may be starting for NEET SS now or reading since last few months. Even if you're reading for the first time, give your time as 60-40 now, and then switch over to theory before the exams, and after theory exam, switch over back to the MCQ solving. And I will recommend specifically for the people who will be giving the theory for MS or DNB, in between mock exams, do solve them. Even if you think that it is going to take your time, people think that it is a wastage of time, because when they solve the 150 questions and then they look over the solution, because already exhausted, your speed goes down. So you'll be spending nearly half day, 1 day for the exam. Rather than that, solve the MCQs today or give the exam. Go through the solutions over the period of next 5 to 10 days, or in between the time between the 2 mock exams, so that topics or questions get revised and you don't waste time. Now, for somebody who has completed Bailey and Saveston once and you have completed our MCQ bank, I will definitely recommend you now is the perfect time to go through the shorts content, because it will be acting as a revision of the concept of Bailey Saveston, because as I've said multiple times, that shorts is an extension of Bailey Saveston. So it will act as a revision and it will help you to cover shorts as well. So you have in that mindset, you are positive that you have read all three, you are aware about everything. So I'll recommend that definitely you should go for the shorts content now. For somebody who's working right now, see, I will recommend you to leave the job if you are not getting adequate time. Now I'll tell you that now you're 5 months. If you're not getting adequate time, maybe don't waste time, leave it and prepare for NEET SS. That is what I'll recommend you. If you're getting adequate time, then just give that time to reading with the job. So that is something which you need to take a call depending on how much time you are able to give to your reading and how much time you are able to read in a day with your job. So yes, it will happen when you are solving the MCQs, you'll not be that much confident because you need to have more revision. More thorough you are with that topic, you'll be able to gain confidence, you'll be able to solve nicely. So don't worry about that you're not able to answer. Keep solving, keep revising. More times you revise, much it will reflect in the MCQs over the period of next few months. So keep solving and keep revising, but don't stop or don't lag down if you're not performing well. Rather than take a call that, okay, I'm missing here, I'm not able to score here or this topic, and concentrate more on that. For the person, like if you're working now, see, to be very honest, I'll give you my example that when I worked in Gangaram, I did my fellowship in surgical gastro liver transplant while I was preparing for NEET tests, and it was not same every day, and it may not be same for everybody. So whatever time you are able to give, you need to give 100% of that time to studying, and according to the time you're getting, may it be 4 hours, 6 hours, or 2 hours, concentrate on reading with your full attention and make your schedule accordingly, and then prepare and try to complete the course in the time you have got. And as I said, one size does not fit all in the super specialty NEET SS preparation. It is not something that you have a fixed course with a fixed speed. Everybody studies in a different way, so you have to judge. But yes, give your maximum effort in the time what you have got. If you are preparing for both NEET SS and INISS, you need to choose one now, because what will happen is that now maybe October will be the INISS. You just have 1.5 months. If you are starting now, then it may not be the right idea. You can prepare general surgery topics and give INISS to get your idea about where you are in the general surgery portion, but choose one exam and prepare for that. Ideal number of revisions, according to me, is 2 to 3 times. Even if you're able to do once, that is enough. But my personal advice would be to do minimum of 2 revisions.